Hey, everybody, welcome on back. It's You Got to Try This podcast with me, Large, and on the ones and twos, as always, is Ian. By the way, I still get, who's Ian? Whenever I say, put a pin in this one, Ian, you got to try this. When we first started doing the food reviews together, Ian and I would go everywhere. Ian's involved with every food review, particularly with the editing of it and obviously the publishing of it. But when we first started, we went to every restaurant together. So it was sort of like I was talking to you as I was eating the food and whatnot, and now it's just become kind of a thing. I insisted that we close each one with put a pin in it, Ian, you got to try this. I think it's good. I'm very happy that we do that every time. Aren't you?
Yeah, I think early on there was one where I was like not comfortable with how much he was like giving me like strine, so I didn't put it in. And
really?
And Lars got pissed at me.
Yeah.
He yelled at me. He's like, "Don't ever leave that out again." Like
Yeah, I don't believe I yelled at you, but I might have been a little stern, right?
No, Large never yells, but
I think there's I sometimes do. I think there's a repetition though that helps us out. I think that's the way that it goes, and plus, people, whatever your favorite podcast is, you inevitably also start to, I don't know, like or relate to or look forward to everybody else who's involved. I think about Howard Stern all the time. I was never a religious Stern listener, never, but I always knew everybody in that pack of his. And they were arguably, some of them were better listened to than he was at times. So I think, in the same way that they did with Hank.
Joe Rogan and Jamie.
Yeah, Joe, I don't know that. I never listened to Joe Rogan except for clips.
I've only listened to a select few episodes with like guests that I'm interested in.
Yeah, of course.
But even just doing that, you know who Jamie is.
Yeah.
He's the guy.
I know who Jamie is.
Yeah.
Jamie put it up and then all of a sudden he'll put this stuff up. Yeah, exactly. So, and I always answer people like he's my dead brother and I do this in honor of, honestly, he's my imaginary friend. He's all this stuff, but he's not. All right. This is a good episode for people who are tuning in for the first time or for the 36th time or however many we've done of these so far. We're going to Katz. We're going to Katz's Deli, which is an institution in the Lower East Side. So if you're down on Houston Street, at the corner of Houston and Ludlow, there is a Jewish deli that everybody knows about called Katz's. It's been around for 137 years. By the way, when you watch the interview, I was just joking. I was like, because you've been around for 188. Guy corrected me right away. 137, your math is bad. Son of a fucking bitch.
Also, quick little thing, just because it's come up in our comment section. People might not even, you glossed over it because you're just a native New Yorker. Mm-hmm. Your pronunciation of Houston Street.
Right. Oh, yeah. Houston Street. Yeah.
I think you said it in one review. I think it might have been Emilio's Bellado.
Might have been, yeah.
And people are like, you don't know how to say Houston?
Yeah. And that's another thing for people who are outside of the tri-state area. There is a town in New Jersey called, when I moved to New Jersey, it was Bogota. It's spelt just like fucking Bogota, but it's Bogota. And the Secaucus, and I know Secaucus. There was a Beastie Boys, you're from Secaucus, I'm from Manhattan, you're jealous of me because your girlfriend is Catton. It's Secaucus for some reason. And I know that it's like that all over the place. You go down to Louisiana and everything is thrown out of the fucking window as far as traditional sayings. So it is Houston Street. I just know that. So, and by the way, if you've been in Soho, you've been south of Houston Street. If you go to a place in NoHo, you're north of Houston Street. So Houston Street is integral to the East Village, the Lower East Side. It's just that part of Manhattan that used to be an absolute fucking dump because I went to high school there and it was awful, just absolutely awful. And now it's sexy. All these holiday parties that I'm going to, by the way, stop inviting me to holiday parties. I can't go to a holiday party every goddamn night, but they're all down there now. We're paying $1,200 to stay in the Rivington Hotel or the hotel on Rivington. Whereas when I went to high school there, I think it was like a junky flop house. I might have bought angel dust there. That's probably not true. So either way, we're going down to Houston Street to spend some time with Jake Dell. He's the fifth generation owner of Katz's Deli. Katz's Deli, their original owners, it has changed hands a couple of times. since its inception, as things tend to do over, a century and a half almost. And Jake's been there for a long time. His family's been there for a long time. And he's going to walk us through what makes that, I think, probably the top 2, certainly the top 3 quintessential New York City foods, right? You could say the slice might be one, just a New York City slice. Some people might say a dirty water dog. There's other things that you can argue for, but I think the bagel's up there. Yeah. Am I missing something?
No, I was thinking
you think bagel too? Yeah, like New York bagels. I think like I'm missing something, but a Katz's pastrami. And again, it used to not be the Katz's pastrami. It used to be the corned beef. We'll get into all that with this guy. So they let us behind the curtain, and I couldn't be happier to be behind the curtain with these people. So thank you to Katz. Thank you to Jake. And make sure you check it out. I mean, I know there's always a line, oh, it's very expensive. We'll talk all about that in the interview, and I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with what you hear. Before we get any further, I just want to remind you guys that when I was at Katz, you'll notice that I had a Pepsi. And the reason that I did is because Pepsi makes food taste better. I'm about to crack open one of these Pepsi Wild Cherries. Pepsi Wild Cherries. It's my first time trying this, by the way. So where was I? I was down in Cosme's in South Philly for the Big Dom Hero. And as I was ordering it, they had the Pepsi fridge right there. I was able to reach in, grab an ice cold Pepsi, paired so well because they did it with like a vodka sauce. They had the Italian the Italian long hots. They did a pesto underneath there. There were so many things going on. And it's essentially Pepsi put a tent over the flavor circus that was going on in my mouth. It paired perfectly as it always does. So Pepsi makes your food taste better. Good food deserves Pepsi. Go to your restaurant, ask for it by name. You see it in a bodega, make sure you give it a grab. I'm going to try the black cherry for the first time. And I don't know what it is. I love black cherry. Oh, that's very good. So, wow, that's a lot of black cherry. I like this a lot. So either way, Pepsi, thank you very much for your continued support. Go and grab yourself a Pepsi right now because good food deserves Pepsi. Hey, before we get into this, I thought I would mention it too. I know a couple other podcasts have. We might be the last person to do it. I spoke to Fights yesterday. With KFC Radio leaving the airways, I don't think anyone is privy to how much of a fan you were of that show. And Fights has gotten like emotional about it. I'd seen it on a couple of things. Kevin, not so much because he's such a cold fucking person. But, KFC Radio was on a heater for such a long time. And I do feel like they're going out on top. It's not one of those things where it was one of those diminishing returns. They can't do it anymore. So they're moving on and they're leaving a dead and defunct franchise. They're decided that they just want to do other stuff creatively and whatnot, just to keep the juices going. So they're going to go and be creative in other platforms. And I'm really looking forward to what the next step is. And was I a guy who religiously listened to KFC Radio? Absolutely fucking not. I don't listen to any podcast religiously. I was lucky enough to be on it a couple times. They had Mick on it. I had Mick on one of the episodes. That's when I outed Kevin for making 18.7 million on the Penn deal. I was the first person to break that. Me, you, and Tyler Moore. And back in the day, I have nothing but fond memories of KFC Radio. It was the first podcast I was ever on. When Kevin had asked me to come in to see if I wanted a job here at Barstool, he invited me on to do an episode of whatever the Barstool Sirius midday show was. And it was him. I think it was Trent and a couple other people. And then I did KFC Radio with Fights and Kevin over at the other HQ. And I had a ball. And it was one of the reasons why I was like, I want to do this. Like, if I can sit down with good people and just kind of shoot the shit about food, about history, about boxing, about NASCAR, about anything and get paid for it, this is the cheat code with life. So, end of an era. I just wanted to acknowledge it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for getting me into this. I know you were a huge fan, right? I mean, you know, when we had Fights on the first time, I believe you were fanboying more, and you're a huge Jet fan. You were fanboying more than when we had Mangold on. Rest in peace, Nick Mangold. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, if I got into Barstool and podcasts as a whole just because of KFC Radio. I've listened to every episode all the way back to the G chats or whatever they were doing.
Right.
And it's the advice, good or bad, whatever you want to say, that they've given on that show from the listeners like giving questions.
Right.
It's led me to work at Barstool.
Both of us.
Yes.
So every other podcast that has thanked them kind of whatever are kind of bullshit, right? I can tell you right now that definitively I'm here because of sitting in on an episode of KFC Radio, and the same thing with you to a certain degree.
I remember vividly, I think it might have been like a freshman in high school when Kevin was talking about, he used to call it the Cubicle Chronicles.
Okay.
And just how bad it used to be for him working a normal job at Deloitte, punching the 9 to 5, just beating your head against a wall. And he was so adamant about like trying to avoid that. And that resonated with me. And it's the reason why I work so hard to make it here, because I didn't want to get stuck in the cubicles.
Right. And a part of the thing is, and if you're stuck in a cubicle now, I don't even mean to use the word stuck. There are plenty of people who are in cubicles who are making great livings and very happy with it. One of the reasons Kevin was so unhappy in a cubicle was he wasn't very good at that job at Deloitte. He's not a bright guy. That's the whole thing about him. So I'm going to put a bug in his ear because I've been dying to talk about when they stopped doing Podfathers. It broke my heart. Fucking kick up Podfathers now. He's got some time on his hands. You know, the bad fucking headlines are behind him maybe a little bit. So we'll try and do something like that. But they've both been on this show since we started. They've always been extremely supportive of everything that I've done and everything that Ian has done as a result, I think, right? Because they've done some finance stuff with us and this. So thank you, all right? Thank you to Kevin and to Fights. Congratulations on that fucking run. And on behalf of me and Ian, we're really looking forward to what you guys come up with next. You know, it won't be as good as KFC Radio, but you guys can certainly try.
And can you believe that Fights has never been to Katz's Deli?
Yeah.
That's for someone who lives in...
We talked to him yesterday.
Yeah.
When we had just gotten back. By the way, we got back. We smelled like we were working a steam table at fucking the Blarney Rose. And another thing, if you're noticing that my voice is a little bit different today, it's gotten worse. I had so much pastrami, tongue, corned beef, chopped liver, and then I brought some home to the bride and Bridge was home that I wound up eating some more at night. My sodium intake, my tongue is swollen. I've bit my tongue now since Katz. I've bit my tongue 3 times. I feel like Dick Clark towards the end when he was still doing the Rock'em New Year's Eve. And he was like, you know, Happy New Year, everybody. Like he couldn't even get the D's out because I believe after one of his strokes, he essentially had an 8-pound tongue. Rest in peace, Dick Clark. If you think that I'm busting balls on him, that guy was a fucking legend. KFC couldn't hold his jock. Dick Clark was my guy growing up. I'm like that right now.
I don't know why Large kept looking at me when he was talking about Dick Clark. I have no idea who
you have no idea?
No.
So fucking disappointed. Do you not know who Dick Clark was?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Have you ever heard of Casey Kasem?
Nope.
Jesus Christ, I'm so god. I don't know if I'm so old. I just think that you guys,
bro, you're unk.
I am. I'm an unk. We're going to do the Unk Olympics in a couple of weeks. That's going to be fun. Right?
That's going to be fun to watch on Roan.com.
On Roan.com, which is Ian's other show that he basically runs.
Shout out Tyler Miller. He does most of the heavy lifting.
Tyler is the guy.
He does most of the heavy lifting.
Tyler's the guy. You do everything for this and you do social for them.
Yes.
Yeah. So Ian does everything for us. Does social for Roan.com, and Roan's got a bunch of good guys who are working with him, but he wants to do like an Unk Olympics. I got to be honest. The reason I don't want to do it is because I kind of have to win it. Like, I think if I don't win it, it's going to be disgraceful on my part. And I don't want to do feats of strength at this age. As you know, Ian tried to get me last night. We're going to get to the episode in a couple seconds. Ian tried to get me last night and he hit me around 10:30, something like that. A decent hour.
No. It was later. It was closer to 11.
Well, okay. So he hit me like 10:48, asking me to do something with.
Wow, that's exact. That's pretty good.
Is that? Yes, 10:48.
Yeah.
Wow. So I got a 1 in 30 chance. So he hit me, asked me to do something with one of our social posts, repost or quote tweet or something like that. And I had put up Christmas lights the night before. I was so fucking sore. I'd been on a ladder since last December when I was putting up my Christmas lights. So I was in bed, absolutely dead to the world sometime after 10 o'clock. But anyway, so this is the Katz Deli episode. and we did a food review there. We did some short form content where the owner, again, Jake Dell, was nice enough to walk us through, give everyone just the step-by-step on how not to look like an asshole when you go to Katz's for the first time. And then I pulled off a cardinal sin and I took the ticket. You'll see, you get some tickets when you're ordering there. I took the ticket home with me, which you're not allowed to do. So I'm going to pin it up on the wall just to bust people's balls. Before we go any further, I just want to give you guys an update on HelloFresh. You may have heard of HelloFresh. They're the #1 meal kit in America, making home cooking easier with chef-crafted recipes and fresh ingredients delivered straight to your door. But this fall, they're serving up even more to love. This isn't the HelloFresh you remember. It's bigger. HelloFresh has doubled its menu. Now you can choose from 100 options each week, including new seasonal dishes and recipes from around the world. Dig into bigger portions that'll keep everyone satisfied. And it's healthier. Feel great with an even healthier menu. Choose from 15 plus high protein recipes each week with options like grass-fed ribeyes or lamb chops. HelloFresh now helps you eat greener with new veggie-packed recipes that have 2 or more veggies per dish. Listen, everyone knows that I'm a cook, or if you've listened to this before, I'm a home cook. When I'm not home, I make sure that HelloFresh gets delivered to the door because this is no dig on Annie. It's idiot-proof. It's good food. It's great food. Fresh ingredients. They give you the recipes and all that stuff, and anyone can make a well-balanced, delicious meal for their family. It does make sense. And then when I come home, even if I'm not going to follow the recipe that they put in there, I'll have some chicken cutlets, a couple of scallions, some new potato, all this stuff from HelloFresh in the fridge that I can do myself and do whatever asshole stuff I do whenever I'm cooking. So HelloFresh works with me, somebody who considers himself a relatively accomplished home chef, and my wife, who couldn't boil toast. So the best way to cook just got better. Go to HelloFresh.com/large10FM right now to get 10 free meals and a free breakfast for life. 1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only, and it varies by plan. So HelloFresh.com/large10FM. And that's to get 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life. So go to HelloFresh.com/large10FM, get 10 free meals and free breakfast for life with something like varies by plan and all that stuff. Honestly, HelloFresh is worthwhile, so why don't you guys go and check it out? We got away because we did Wallow last week. By the way, shout out to Wallow. I mean, for coming in, did the prison tuna with us, the whole deal. We'll drop that video at some point. If it hasn't dropped already, will it have dropped? No, right?
I think it will have dropped because I feel like we should drop it before this one comes out.
I'm not going to talk then too much about it in case something doesn't drop on time, but I'm going to tell you, I was pleasantly surprised. I was pleasantly surprised because I thought it was going to be absolutely gross.
If you're listening to this now, the video's out. So go watch it if you haven't.
So we had rented an open kitchen down in Philly and a really cool place. I wish I remembered the name of it, but the dude who runs it does like cooking competitions. Him and a bunch of chefs go in there and they do essentially their version of Chopped or Knife Fight or whatever, iteration of that is. So there was like 4 working stations. Place was packed to the gills with everything you could need as far as ingredients. I wasn't aware of it. So I brought my own can opener, my own knife, towels, the whole deal. And I wound up going to a professional kitchen that had everything my heart could desire. And then I bought this absolute, what I thought would be like terrible ingredients that Wallow would use in prison to make his famous tuna prison salad. And he was making it. I thought it was utterly not disgusting, but certainly off-putting. I had tried it. It was a lot better than I expected, except the bread was an absolute disgrace, which I had told him. He uses like Lender's frozen cinnamon raisin bagels. There was nothing good about the bread. Like, you couldn't serve me anything on that bread that would make me jump over the moon, but the tuna was pretty good. And Wallow is he's that guy. I like Wallow a lot. And another thing, this thing will drop before I do the KO party with them. So if you guys are boxing fans, Gilly and Wallow's KO party is on December 19th. It's going to be down in Philly. I'll be ringside doing the color for it. So that'll be a lot of fun. But thank you very much to Wallow for coming on. We do appreciate that. But since we had done that down there, we didn't get to a letter last week. So Ian, you have a letter from somebody so I can do it right now?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
Then thank you for everyone that is leaving 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. That's the only place you can leave a 5-star review. You could leave 5 stars on Spotify and comment on the episodes. Mm-hmm. You could also like the videos and comment on the videos on YouTube. Excellent. So we're opening up questions from all angles because not everyone has Apple Podcasts.
Of course, yeah.
But however, we are going to Apple Podcasts first because that's where you can leave a 5-star review.
Cool.
And this one is from Mike Miggins.
Oh, Mike Miggins.
Large. Late to the You Gotta Try This party, but catching up fast. Appreciate it. I am a loyal Twisted History listener and have enjoyed all that you do at Barstool. My question. You've got a 6-top table for dinner. It's you and 5 people from history. Suspend reality and take any people from history while assuming assuming language isn't a barrier. So perhaps only choose people from your Twist History pod. Winston Churchill, Rasputin. It gets a little hairy at the end with the grammar, but that's essentially the question.
Okay. So this guy is a Twisted. So we still do Twisted History. Myself, Annie, and Vibs do it. And we got like over 200 episodes. It's a term paper every time I do it. So it's the heaviest lift to have here at Barstool if you want to consider it a lift. If you want to go back to school, do a history podcast. And, holy shit.
And no pressure here, Large, but this will make for a great social clip to collab Twisted History with. Of
course.
So let's hear this answer.
I would say then we'll do guys from Twisted History since Mike has some familiarity with it. So he's asking if I have a 6-top, what 5 people from history, alive or dead, language is no barrier or anything like that. I like that he gave us all of those all of those little stipulations because sometimes things can get hairy. If it was a one-on-one meal, I'd like to have a one-on-one meal with Dolly Parton. So I'm going to put that to the side. I've always been fascinated with those things. But if I had 5 people around a table, live or dead, I would have to start with the guy who would probably drive the bus on where we're going to eat. We'd be eating at Keen's Chop House, right down here. We'd be having the mutton chop or multiple mutton chops at Keen's, right over here by Madison Square Garden. And the reason I mentioned the first guy would be driving the bus with that is it would be Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt, the Bull Moose, I believe the room is called the Bull Moose Room. Teddy Roosevelt, obviously everyone knows him as being president of the United States. He took over after McKinley was shot. And then he finished out that term. And then he ran for a second term, had won. So he did almost 2 full terms. Then he didn't run for a third one right away. I think that's when Taft came in, ran for a third term afterwards. And while he was on the campaign trail, he was shot in the chest. It got caught up in the book that he had with his speech, but the bullet still made it in and it lodged in one of his ribs. Then he went up and did the speech afterwards. Governor of New York, I believe it was the police chief of New York. Teddy Roosevelt is anyone who knows history knows that Teddy Roosevelt is an infinitely interesting guy. And his spot was Keen's Chop House. So if I'm sitting in the Bull Moose room, which was Teddy Roosevelt's nickname, with the Bull Moose, fuck, that would be fantastic. I was at the Explorers Club. I had dinner at the Explorers Club last year. And we were sitting, everybody at the table, I was at a table of 8. I believe 4 of the people at the table were billionaires with a B, and me. And one of the guys that was there with us had said that the stuffed lion that was behind us, taxidermied like mountain lion or something like that, was shot by Teddy Roosevelt. And the reason he knew that is because he was Teddy Roosevelt's great-great-grandson. And I don't know, that really got my juices flowing. So number 1 with a bullet, literally because he got shot in the chest, was Teddy Roosevelt. I think the second one, if you're going to have people at a party, you always want a big drunk guy. Always want a big drunk guy at a party or at a dinner. You always want a big drunk guy, right? You want Mike Kadick, right? You want somebody like that. You want, name anybody here, right? Any big drunk guy. And I can't think of a bigger, drunker guy that I'd want to fuck with than Andre the Giant. Me, Teddy Roosevelt, and Andre the Giant in Keen's Chop House.
And you still have 3 more seats.
Which is fucking crazy. Because Andre the Giant, look up his stats. Look up Andre the Giant's stats about him just randomly ordering like 40 vodka sodas, drinking 12 bottles of wine. I think when they were filming Princess Bride, he had drank so much wine that he passed out in the middle of the hotel lobby, and they were bringing in dollies and forklifts or whatever the hell they were bringing. They couldn't move him, so instead they took out the thing that they used to cover the piano, and they just covered his body in a piano cover and left him there until he woke up so nobody would fuck with him. Andre the Giant has to be at a table, and if somebody doesn't put him at their table, they just don't know who he is. I think the third guy would be just a dude that's on my bucket list for somebody that I want to interview for the show. Maybe the only living guy I'm going to put on this list, and that's Danny DeVito. We would just, I'm not burying the lead. We were just in Katz, like I'm going to say. We're about to go there with you guys in a couple of seconds. And this guy had said so many stars come in and out, but one of his favorite stars was Danny DeVito, and I couldn't have been more happy. Danny DeVito has, I think, his own limoncello brand. I've been following Danny DeVito since he was Louis De Palma in Taxi, all the way up till today. Danny DeVito is one of the guys that I would definitely love to have on this show and love to have at dinner with me, Teddy Roosevelt, Andre the Giant. And then think about the dichotomy. He's sitting next to Andre the Giant, this little son of a bitch. And then right next to him would be Ernest Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway was a legendary drunkard. George Plimpton, the journalist, was interviewing Ernest Hemingway somewhere in the Keys. Ernest had like a shirt on that was wide open. You know, it was like kind of beachy type life. And he'd noticed like this thing on his side. It looked like a giant leech, but it wasn't. It was his diseased liver kind of coming to the surface. Ernest Hemingway was no fucking joke. I know he swallowed a shotgun at the end of his life. Everybody in his family did, by the way. I think if you look up the amount of suicides, even Margot, I believe, had killed herself. You know, that, which is an unfortunate part of this, unfortunately, because the fifth guy that I'm going to bring on also had died way too young, and that'd be Bourdain. So if you're asking for my power table of 6, including me, Teddy Roosevelt, Andre the Giant, Danny DeVito, Ernest Hemingway, and Anthony Bourdain. That's a table, right? That's off the top of my fucking head.
I don't know if you could come up with a better answer.
That's a good answer, right?
Clip that.
Yeah, clip the shit out of that. I remember because when we were doing Barstool Breakfast, we had raffled off a dinner with me and Willie Colon. By the way, Willie Colon could replace Danny DeVito on that too at any minute. And that's just selfish. I love Willie. And some guy had paid, I think like $13,000 to have dinner with us. And the gentleman was from North Carolina. So he paid $13,000. Then he flew up and back, got himself a hotel, the whole deal. We went to Arturo's in Midland Park, which was a place I used to go to all the time. Love Arturo's. Mario, go to Arturo's Midland Park, and it's just fantastic. And we went there, and the guy wanted to go drink for drink with us. And I've told the story with Willie before, and he just couldn't hang. Unfortunately, he couldn't hang to the point where he threw up on the table and pissed himself, and we had to wrap him in tablecloths. And then Annie shows up. I think she was driving like one of those big deal Suburbans, like the huge ones. She drove up like we just robbed the bank, and Willie carried the guy out, threw him in the Suburban, got him to his hotel, and put him back. So be careful what you ask for when you want to eat and drink with some of these big boys, because it can fucking get you. It can get you. All right, so yeah, I think I nailed that, right? And so to Ian's point, like and subscribe. I always hear people say that on any content that I watch or listen to. Like and subscribe, and I never pay attention to it, but it means the world. It means the world to people who are trying to cull together some good good content for you guys. All right, so with that, no further ado, let's go to Katz. Let's go to Katz's Deli and give you guys an inside look on how that thing works. And this whole interview is brought to you by Tony's Cajun Kick. So I've been using this now. I used to use the old Tony Satcheries, which is still absolutely in my cabinet, will be for the rest of the time. But they took out some of the salt. They added a ton of heat, and they added some garlic. I made the garlic bread with it for the sandwich of the month last month. but Travi, right out here, said, Large, you're not putting this on your eggs? This Cajun Kick goes right on my eggs now. I'm using this on everything. Tony's Cajun Kick has become a staple in my household. Oh, man, I just tightened up again in my back. Excuse me. It's less salt, more garlic, and a clean hit of heat. It's a new blend based in the Tony's tradition. You use it in place of salt and pepper. Tony's Cajun Kick is a seasoning blend. Look for it at your local H-E-B, Rouse's, and Associated Grocers, Associated Wholesale Grocers, or Amazon. That's where I get it. Cajun Kick is currently only available in select stores in Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. Meet the all-new Tony's Cajun Kick. Turn up the heat, turn up the flavor. Cajun Kick brings bold spice, zesty garlic, and just the right burn to wake up anything on your plate. Shop now at CajunKick.com/Barstool or anywhere else that I just mentioned before. And I'm telling you, it's going to become something that you're going to probably have in the middle of your table at dinner as well as all over your pantry. So with that, let's go to Katz. All right, so here we are in the middle of probably one of the most popular tourist attractions, restaurants, icons, just a stalwart of New York City, a place I've been coming to since I was a little fat kid, and now that I'm a big fat adult, it's Katz Deli. I'm sitting here with Jake Dell. He's a fifth-generation owner of this joint. Jake, this place has been around for 188 years. When do you think it's going to catch on? When do you think you're going to have your first break to where you're going to get a line out the door at some point in this fucking dump?
Yeah. Well, listen, I appreciate you gave us an extra 50 years. It's 137
years.
But
there you go.
I'll take it.
We'll give it to you. Yeah.
But one of these days, hopefully, we'll figure out how to make some pastrami.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
We got here at 10 o'clock in the morning to do this. We wanted to jump ahead of the crowds. This is 10 a.m. This is 10 a.m. in Katz. And if we're not out of here at 10:30, there are going to be people throwing elbows at us like we're at a Ranger game. So let's get right to it. What's the thing?
It'll mostly be coming from my guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the customers.
Yeah. It is something, though, where you guys are almost like bouncers for most of the day because you do get a lot of old school New Yorkers who just want to get to the counter. Yes. They know the process, want to get in and out. You also have some wide-eyed tourists who are just kind of like, so how do you do that? Is it more of a bouncing situation?
So I think, listen, the New Yorkers know how to navigate the line. They know how to move through it. They know how to go fast.
Right.
So we just sort of like, let the tourists be tourists, let the newbies be newbies. But here's the thing, once you come your first time, now you're no longer a newbie.
Right.
The next time you know what you're doing a little bit better. So, listen, we'll try to do what we can to help our regulars get through the line as fast as possible.
What is the busiest time of the week, busiest time of the day for you? When is the time where you, the owner of this place, says you're stepping into the belly of the beast at a certain time?
I think weekends are particularly crazy for us. I think this time of year, December, is bananas, right? If you come back January, February, you come during the middle of the week, it's more manageable. And our regulars know that. They know, hey, I'm going to come at 10:30 a.m., I'm going to come at 4 p.m., I'm going to kind of avoid those lines a little bit. So if you know type of situation.
What are you doing different? What are you doing different that everybody who lives in Guam wants to order pastrami from Katz more so than anywhere else? So we're lucky enough to be in a city where we have a ton of great Jewish delis.
100%.
But what's the difference between Katz and everywhere else in the world?
I think there's a couple things. Look, we make everything ourselves. We do it the old-fashioned way. There are a lot of shortcuts out there. There's a lot of ways that you can make pastrami go faster, and you can serve it in a prettier way, and you can do a lot of things. We don't do any of that, right? We stick to doing it the same way that it was done in 1888. Because there's a difference in the quality. When you cure it, it should take 3-4 weeks. It shouldn't take 3-4 hours.
And is that the process? There's a 3-week cure to pastrami? Okay.
So in addition to smoking, in addition to boiling, in addition to steaming, it's everything you could do to a piece of meat gets done to that pastrami. And there's a reason we go through 40,000 pounds a week of that pastrami.
It's unbelievable. So my order, which you had just seen because I had a sandwich before we sat down. So I'm pastrami, tongue, chopped liver, a little bit of Russian, and then I bring the mustard. At the table is where I put the mustard on. That, I think, is a solid order here. I was very happy when you said that guy knows how to fucking order. But is there like a special combo, something that you think is that I should try that maybe people don't necessarily gravitate towards?
Listen, I think yours is something that
not
most
bad,
people
right?
don't try. I mean, tongue is something that not a ton of people order and is one of my personal favorites. Like a center cut tongue, it's fatty and there's a ton of flavor in that. And combined with a little chopped liver that, and mustard to cut it all. That's a beautiful order. It really is. You're like a 90-year-old Jewish man, and I appreciate that.
And by the way, that's probably the highest compliment I've ever gotten.
In this place, that is a royalty.
That is, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was like a lifeguard at a mikveh for a while. Now this is absolutely the best for me.
The only thing is, if you had ordered a celery with it, I would have been like,
the celery just to send it over the edge. Yeah. All right, everybody, let's take a little break to tell you about Cash App. For all the parents out there with teenagers, we know you're already trying to keep a million different things under control. Cash App is here to help make sure your teens' money and their spending isn't adding to that craziness. Cash App is designed to meet teens aged 13 to 17 where they are with intuitive educational tools. Available through sponsorship by an eligible parent or guardian, teens gain access to a personalized Cash App card that comes in different colors and patterns to fit their style and the ability to instantly access money from family and friends. Cash App makes managing money feel easier and honestly just cooler than other options out there. The platform also has tools that can help teens develop real-world financial habits in a space that's safe and easy to navigate, all with your oversight and approval. If your teen is getting their first job, Cash App can get them access to their paychecks up to 2 days early and can help them achieve personalized savings goals they can set themselves, all within the app. So for a limited time, new Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use the code FAMILY10 in their profile at sign up and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply. That's FAMILY10, FAMILY10. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Direct deposit and promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. And with that, Ian, let's go back to Katz's. So one of the tips that I do that I don't think a lot of people do is the first thing I get is the chocolate egg cream.
Oh, there you go.
So then I have the egg cream while I'm online for the sandwich. And then when they see me with the egg cream already there halfway done, they give me a couple extra pieces of pastrami. Yeah. So there's little things that you have to work out. There's clues and little tricks that you have here to get the most out of it.
Is to order a hot dog, right? That's an appetizer, a perfect appetizer while you're waiting online. Get it with a little mustard and kraut.
Oh, yeah. So a hot dog and an egg cream appetizer while you're going up to get your tongue and pastrami sounds like the perfect day for me. Yeah. Celebrities. Who's the biggest celebrity that you've had here outside of me?
Outside of you? That's tough.
It's tough, right? It's me and everybody else.
It's a real distance. Leo is all the way down, after you.
Is he coming a lot?
He sometimes. I will say he goes real incognito. He's got the hat down low. A lot of the guys I don't recognize also who they are.
Right.
I'm really bad at this shit.
Okay.
I don't know who anyone is. And it's usually a customer who's like, hey, that's so-and-so. And I'm like, oh, cool.
Welcome.
I don't care. You want a sandwich?
Right.
Wait in line. But one of my favorites is Danny DeVito. I love him. I think he's a sweetheart and he's fucking hilarious. And he's been coming here since, as he likes to remind me often, way before I was born.
Really? Yeah. So, maybe all 188 years when I did the bad math on the beginning of it.
He is, exactly. Yeah. He's a real character.
Fucking national treasure, to be quite honest with you. Talk to me about the Lower East Side. So I had mentioned to a couple of people, I grew up in the south side of Brooklyn. So I'm from Coney Island, Sheepshead Bay area.
Oh, my mother was Marine Park.
Okay, so I'm Gerritsen Beach.
There you go.
Gerritsen Beach right next to it.
My grandmother, or her mother was Sheepshead Bay as well.
Okay, yeah. So Whitney Avenue is a cutoff between Gerritsen Beach and Marine Park. I'm on the Marine Park side. Apparently I don't wear it with a badge of pride because I mentioned four of the neighborhoods before I got to it. So I used to come
It's cool now, by the way. Have you seen it?
My parents still live there. So I'm there, quite a bit. It's awesome.
I took my mother back for the first time. Sorry for distracting.
No, I don't give a shit. This is Brooklyn.
So I took my mother back for the first time in however many years, and she to the block that she grew up on, and she's like, "This is not the block." And I said, "Mom, this is
it."
She's like, "There was no water at the end of our block.
Right.
There were woods at the end of our block." I was like, "No, they cleared out the woods.
It's that waterfront,
and there's waterfront over there."
Yeah.
She's like, "This is blowing my mind. I live here 20 years. I didn't know there was water here."
I will tell you, I'm old, so when I used to take the subway into the Lower East Side wasn't sexy like it was now.
No. Yeah.
So I think Dinkins was still mayor. This was a tough neighborhood to go to. So coming from 2nd Avenue and 2nd Street to here for a sandwich was easy for me, but it didn't have that allure for a lot of the tourists and whatnot. But now that the Lower East Side is one of the sexiest places on earth, so as you've been here, like you say, for 5 generations, what's happened to the neighborhood? Where do you think it is now in perspective of where it was when you first started this kind of whole thing?
That's a great question. I think part of why we all love New York in general is that it is constantly growing, evolving. There's change happening all the time. And that's awesome. It gives it a great energy in the city. But within that, you need pockets of old.
Yes.
Right? And you need moments that remind you of history or that remind you of the throwback ways. And that's what we are, right? And over 137 years, we've seen no buildings, right? A gas station across the street.
Right.
Then it becomes a tenement, and then that tenement gets knocked down, and then it becomes a 20-story building.
Right.
And we've seen, this neighborhood be not the safest, let's say.
Oh, it's terrible for a while.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah.
To being a hotspot, to art galleries being here, to bars that aren't just like, biker bars that beat the shit out of you.
Yes.
To like cool, fun, sexy bars. I think it's awesome to see and it's cool to see, but it makes it all the more important why we don't change the walls.
Right.
Why that Budweiser neon sign is from 1954.
Knickerbocker beer, Rheingold.
Those beers don't
Peels,
exist.
they don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And it's important to keep those moments when everything else around you changes, when the whole city goes up and goes down and goes every direction.
You guys are.
We try to stay level. Now, at one time, the neon vertical sign out front, the big Katz sign, this one right here.
Yeah.
At one point, that was the tallest sign. You could see when you came off the FDR Drive, you could see Katz.
There was nothing in the way.
There was nothing in the way. Everything was a one-story building or nothing.
That's awesome.
And this was this mega sort of neon to attract people to Katz's in 1949.
Right.
Now, it's a dwarf little sign compared to
It's tiny.
the rest of the neighborhood. So it's funny how perspective changes, and time changes everything. So, but we don't change our recipes. We don't change our floors. We don't change anything.
Right.
Sometimes we don't even, we got guys that have been working here 45, 50 years.
Which is kind of cool. There's all familiar faces when you walk in. I mean, nobody was like large, but like you see people and it's not their first day.
Yeah.
When I shook hands with you for the first time, it was the worst, greasiest handshake I ever had because you're in there, like handling meat and stuff. I have a question for a guy who's in charge of a place like this. How come you're not 400 pounds? How come every time you go and you move or you help somebody out, you don't just grab like the decal and run into the back and sort of have that? Where are you like this and not like this?
I will do like a little taste, but I'm not eating a whole sandwich, right? Like
Right.
I don't have time for that shit. I'm running around like a madman. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're shipping out 1,500 orders today alone, right? Out of our warehouse.
Think about that, man. So they're shipping out 1,500 orders.
And it's not just like
today.
a sandwich.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pounds of meat and bread and pickles going to all 50 states.
Right. And so on top of what you guys have here, I think people can lose sight of the fact this is an empire. Like it is. It's an empire. And I know like since it has first started, changed hands a couple of times, and then everyone who's picked up the ball to run with it has kept it as authentic as it was when it first opened up. And that's the difference between everything else. Because your red sauce joints here in New York City, the old school red sauce joints that couldn't survive, closed down. And so now these new wave red sauce joints sort of fucking kill it, right?
I couldn't not agree.
You know what I mean? So now people are lining up for the red and white tablecloth veal parms that I used to get in the back of pizza parlors, and now I'm doing it next to fucking Leo right around the corner here. That's never happened with the Jewish deli.
That's funny. I will say there are new delis, right?
Yes.
Places that try to revive the deli spirit. And in the same vein for these Italian red sauce joints, like I appreciate people that want to connect to a food heritage, to a specific food tradition. I love that.
Right.
But I do think it's important to have actual old places that know how to do it the old-fashioned way. So I think both can coexist, and I think both are nice and important. But to the first thing you said, you need to have someone in charge to carry on the next generation,
because
and to bring it to the next generation.
Doesn't private equity come in here to want to do the Jersey Mikes and say, listen, if you stop giving away just that piece of pastrami, we're going to annualize savings
100%.
of $400,000 a year. Like the whole...
Listen, 100%.
You must get that every day.
We get those requests a lot. We get requests to open all over the world every day. We've turned down every offer because it did not make sense for us. Right?
Okay.
If that were to change, not to change, in the sense that I could do this really well, like I can do the food really well in another place, would I consider another place? Sure. Never say never, right? You don't know the future.
Has there ever been
but
another?
I don't feel good. We have one in Brooklyn.
Right, but
in the old Albee Square Mall.
And I don't... Yeah, fuck Albee Square Mall. I used to go to AJ's there. They got, like, two-tone jeans. No, but I mean, like, put it in the Bellagio. Like, you know what I'm saying?
We get those requests. I don't think we can do the quality the right way if we were to do that. So I won't consider it.
That's awesome.
But if we were to say, I know for 100% certainty that I can have a really good quality there, okay, well then let's have a conversation. Let's see if I can get the business terms to be good, but I'm not even going to consider the business terms if I don't think I can do the quality the right way.
What about additions to the menu? So if you have a classic menu where you can come in here, and if you ordered a sandwich in 1936, you can come back today in 2025 and get that same exact sandwich, right? Nothing has changed really from it. What's the additions that you guys have added to the menu? The prices have changed. And by the way, for everyone who complains about Katz being on the expensive side, don't come to New York. There isn't a single fucking
Try to
place
get
in New York.
lunch for less than $20.
Yeah, go to Chipotle for less than $25 in fucking New York. So let's just stop with that nonsense. But
pastrami is $29.
Yeah. But is there something?
You get 3/4 of a pound of meat. It's not a light.
Oh no, it's two meals. Yeah. Like what I do now is I take that home and I make pastrami hash tomorrow with some eggs. That's it. That's the do.
I love your orders,
Are we welcome? I think we are. No,
this is making me so happy.
Yeah. So, what would you add to the menu? What have you added to the menu? Is there some? I know you're not going to be doing corned beef parmesan anytime soon.
Pastrami tofu dish.
Okay, exactly. The tofurkey.
Yeah. No, listen, we've updated our chili with something called Saturday sauce.
I saw that. Yeah.
So, which is actually my wife's company.
Get the fuck out of here.
She comes
See him? Oh, we'll never change anything. His wife has a sauce coming. You know what, honey? That's okay. Bring it on in, right?
It's way better, to be fair.
Is it really?
Our chili was... This is a better version.
I've never had chili here, so now I'll try it.
I'll give you
I'll definitely try that.
But...
Sorry about that, but I have to call you out.
No, it's fair.
Right?
Listen,
you know what I mean?
Fair.
You hypocritical prick. But is there?
But okay, to be fair, that was also a newer menu item. That's not pastrami or corned beef.
Oh, no, I'm not judging. I don't care what.
But no, listen, we've taken things off the menu more than we've added things.
Okay.
So like, let's say Kasha Varnishka stopped selling, right? We were selling one of these a week. It's like, what the hell are we doing? We're making this and we're throwing it all in the garbage. But that doesn't make sense. Or any sort of... I'm totally blanking on things that we've taken off over the years, but there's not a lot that we've taken off. There's also not a lot we've added, right? Like we added a Reuben sandwich 30 years ago.
Right.
That's relatively new for us.
It's crazy that you say one of our newest dishes was the Reuben that we introduced in the 1990s, right? Is that absolutely incredible?
But you never would have had cheese
because
on a sandwich because even we were never kosher.
This is like
but
kosher
we still didn't
Yes.
have cheese that you would put on sandwiches. That is a ridiculous idea in classic deli.
If you guys were to be strict kosher, it probably wouldn't be the behemoth that it is now. Is that fair to say?
I think it depends, right? I mean, I think you would gain some extra customers. I think you would lose out on Reubens, and that sucks,
right.
Or people who put Swiss on their pastrami sandwich. So that would hurt us potentially. You gain other customers. As long as you're not Galat and you're closed on Saturday, that would really hurt us.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know that there is an overwhelming demand for that. That it would make sense for us to do that.
Are you pastrami or corned beef?
I'm pastrami.
Okay. Now, is it, if somebody comes in here and says that they're corned beef over pastrami, do you feel less about them?
We sell 20,000 pounds a week of corned beef. I don't feel bad about it at all. Listen, corned beef used to outsell pastrami 2-1.
Really?
Hands down.
And now is it the opposite?
Now it's 2-1 pastrami. We're doing 40,000 pounds of pastrami every week. It's 2-1.
40,000 pounds of pastrami every week versus 20,000 pounds. 10 tons, I just did the math, of corned beef every week.
Really
I appreciate that. 20 tons of pastrami and 10 tons corn. It's absolutely overwhelming. What is the order that I've never had here that I should order next time around?
Have you had the latkes?
I haven't had the latkes here.
I think we make the second best latkes you've ever had in your life.
Really?
And the first is like a grandma, a wife, or whoever like introduced you to latkes.
Right.
That'll be your first best, and I'm fine taking second place to that.
Perfect.
But my latkes,
applesauce,
sour cream.
Sour cream. Okay. Yeah.
No judgment if you do. It's all right. No one's perfect.
You're here in, like I said, an iconic restaurant. This gets asked all the time from chefs and restaurant owners everywhere, just about in every city. Is there places that you think are must try in New York City for people who come in? I mean, right away, you're on the brochure for everyone visiting New York.
There are so many must tries that it's hard to narrow it down and say this is the one must try. But I would say must tries by types of food.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like anything out of the world.
You need to have a must try. You need to have a pizza, like New York pizza.
Yeah.
You need to have.
Is there a pizza that you think is better than anyone else here in New York City?
It's really hard. There's so many good ones.
I know. If you say it out loud.
I think Brooklyn is winning right now compared to Manhattan. There used to be like some good ones, although industry is bringing it back.
Yes.
And credit to them and to Mamas over there. They're like they're doing an amazing job over there, holding it down. Scars is obviously doing a great job over here. But Brooklyn, like there's
Spumoni Gardens. I know. That's my thing.
It's so hard for me to not say Spumoni or to not say like it's Jaffar's.
Midwood.
And I was very sad to see him pass away. But Jaffar's is amazing pizza. I do think some of the standard Brooklyn joints might be winning. But then again, I just tried this new place that had opened up. Where the fuck was I?
And that's the whole thing. There's so many places that are untapped. A lot of places get all the press, like this place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what got pressed that I blew my mind? I went to the Knicks game and I went to Suprema afterwards.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, what the hell happened? Like,
right. Yeah, they got the glow up. Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. Like, there's a line outside. I've never seen a line like that. I love that. I love that slice there too. It's a good sort of classic. Ignore the 400 different slices.
Exactly.
That
the window. Yeah. You seem like a guy who's just about handcuffed to this place 7 days a week. Yeah. Are you able to get out? Is it one of those things where I can ask you what's the best food city in the world and make an argument that it's not New York? Or is it something where you're like, I can't travel large. I'm sitting on top of this.
Well, I will say I also have 2 very young kids right now, so traveling is especially hard.
Oh, that stinks. I wouldn't have recommended that. We didn't know each other before, and kids suck. I think it's no fucking easier.
Other kids suck. My kids are great.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, on the wallet. Right. I'm sure my kids suck. Then I'll tell you that much. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
It's rough. 4 and 2 years old. We're in it still, so it's hard for us to do too much traveling outside of like grandma and grandpa's house.
Yeah.
But I do love traveling. I love eating. I think there are arguments to be made all over the world for other types of foods. I think Mexico City has a great food scene.
Yeah, we were just there.
It's awesome food out there.
Right.
I think, some of the European cities have arguments to be made for different types of things. I think London gets a bad rap, as far as the food scene. But it's better than I think it gets credit for it sometimes.
It's very wide.
I think
their cuisine
Tokyo is awesome.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's really hard to say. Ultimately, though, there's an argument. I don't know if you saw this, Andrew Zimmern.
I had him on the show, and he said Queens.
That was your show?
Yeah.
I'm losing my fucking mind.
No. He said it. No, he said it on multiple shows.
That was the best argument I've heard.
He does width and depth, and he's like, some places have the width, some places don't have that, but they all are very deep.
Yeah.
Breadth and depth. Yeah, and this city, particularly Queens,
that was my
so broad and so deep. Yeah. I agree with you 100%. By the way, what a flex. I was like, that was me and Zimmern.
That was
no big deal, right?
Nailed it.
He's done it on so many other podcasts, by the way, but I'm taking full responsibility for him just repeating it on mine. You know what I mean?
It's funny, I'm supposed to see him. We're supposed to do something together next month. So I'm going to tell him that...
Tell him that Large said hello.
And then you're taking
I'm taking all the credit. Yeah, go fuck himself.
Even though he said it,
it's all me.
It's all your credit there. So
I'm going to the Minnesota State Fair with him next year.
Nice.
And which I think is that guy impressed the hell out of us. A 35-minute interview, I had to stop after 3 hours. 3 hours. I said, my garage is going to close. I find him to be fascinating.
He's a really interesting.
Right.
He's so humble and nice and genuine.
Right.
And there aren't a lot of people like that, I feel like, especially sometimes in the food world. You get a lot of...
jerk-offs. Douchebags.
A lot of entitled douchebags.
Yeah, you do. So Bourdain here?
All the time.
Zimmern here?
Yeah.
Everybody agrees that this place is the place to be when you get to New York, right? So it's becoming... Is it humbling? Or is it one of those things where you can't take time to really smell the roses because you're always going to have a line outside?
I wake up and I get to come here every day. It's humbling.
I'm starting to think that you come here every day to avoid taking care of 4-year-old and 2-year-old too, right? Is that something, right?
Just
in case the wife sees that, we'll put that thing out.
That's hilarious. I will say though, Sunday is the new Friday for me.
Okay. Really? Sunday's the new Friday for you. I like that. Sundays are for the boys. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. So a guy like you, Russ and Daughters, how do you feel about that?
Love it.
How do you think?
We're very close with them. We're close with the Economy Mechanic, close with the Onishima. There aren't a lot of old businesses.
Jewish businesses too, yeah.
And we all happen to be on the Lower East Side on top of that. And we all kind of think the same way too about preserving nostalgia and trying to have a good quality product in the process. And so I think when you're like-minded like that and your neighbors, of course you're gonna.
I can't think of a better way to spend a day in New York than to have a late breakfast at Russ and Daughters and absolutely destroy yourself. Not want to eat for a couple of hours, then you come here late and you do Katz. So you're essentially skipping lunch, which is saving money. Then you do Katz late at night, and then you go back and you pass out wherever the hell you're staying.
There you go.
You guys have it cornered. So let me ask you a couple of questions to close off. Is that cool? How do you take your coffee? Black. How do you take your eggs?
Ooh, depends on my mood. I am one of two ways. It's mostly over easy, let's be honest.
Okay, yeah, it's got to be.
It's mostly over.
Well, how good's your kung fu in the kitchen outside of making 40,000 pounds of pastrami every fucking day? How are you as far as being a chef?
I'm okay. I wouldn't. I'd give myself a 5 or 6 at it.
Okay.
I can hold my own better than the average person.
Right.
But I'm not a rock star. I know how to make what we make really well.
Of course, yeah.
But I also only know how to make them in batches of like 200.
That's what I mean.
So for me to scale it for the two of us, it's hard. It's a different process.
You know what I've never had here, which I'm just thinking? I've never had the salami here either.
It's great salami.
Send the salami to a boy in the army, started in World War II. Yeah. I think 2 of the sons who were in the Katz family were overseas at the time. So that started that whole campaign. It's just something that I never went to. There's so many things to open up every time you come here. It can be a different experience every time. How do you order your steak?
I used to be medium rare, and I've switched to medium.
It seems that's what everyone's gravitating towards. Particularly ribeyes.
I feel like there was. I thought it was sacrilegious, and then I think Bobby Flay make a good argument about it being medium as versus medium rare. I gave it a shot, and I was like, listen, you might be onto something.
Yeah. Give me some dish that you wish you could get back. For a guy who's had so much history in this place, when I think about something that I can't get back, the restaurant's closed, the person who used to make it for me is no longer with us, or maybe my palate has just changed. What's that one meal that you wish you can get back and you know you're not gonna?
Chicken parm at Lance's.
Really?
There was a spot on 11th and 1st Avenue, right across the street from Veniero's.
Okay.
We used to pick up my grandfather every Sunday because he was on the Lower East Side, and we were up closer to 30th Street. And we would pick him up and have dinner together. And often, I mean, it was different places.
Sure.
You know, Chinatown, this or that, Hopkey in Chinatown. Go-to. When you talk about go-tos,
yes, Hopkey.
For me, it's Hopkey over Woe Hop.
And I just did Woe Hop the other day, and right before it closed, it was okay. I mean, Hopkey's the one. Yeah.
But so, Lance's was one of the ones on the list, and I don't know if it's a quality thing or a nostalgia thing, to be honest, because I haven't had it. Well, they closed.
Right.
But I don't know if it's just because of the memories or positive associations spending time with my grandfather.
Of course, yeah.
Or if the food was actually good or not.
But either way, you're not going to get it back. That's the perfect answer. I actually glanced over this before, and this is a personal question. I just want to know, how difficult is it to operate a business in New York City? And I'm not talking about the current administration. I'm talking about, because this isn't a political podcast by any stretch of imagination, but just in general. I don't care how long I've been talking to restaurateurs in this city. It's a fucking uphill battle, and it's an expensive one.
How long of a rant do you want? Right?
Oh, okay. Yes. Give me
I'll give you the
version.
clip notes of the rant. I think any business is hard. Any small business is hard, right? Mm-hmm. I think New York puts added extra undue pressure sometimes on small businesses because they know we can pay.
Right.
When the large businesses say, fuck you, we don't, because we don't have a choice in the matter. I think restaurants are especially hard because our margins are so thin compared to other businesses.
Right.
I think delis are especially hard because we don't change the menu.
Right.
If the price of meat goes up, it's not like I can substitute for extra tomatoes.
Right.
Or if, hey, I'm going to make a beef salad with this and blah, blah. I don't do any of that shit. Right? Yeah. I eat the cost.
Right.
I also think that no, I'm gonna leave that one. I'm gonna stop there.
You're gonna stop there? Yeah. Because I'm telling you, it does. We sat down with Stratus Morgan months ago, and he was going through all the trials and travails of it. It makes me not want to open up a business inside the city. You guys are here.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think we are very lucky because we own the building.
Thank God.
3 generations ago, or 2 generations ago, we bought this. Even though, listen, from an investment standpoint, it looked like a horrible idea. This neighborhood was a shit.
Right.
But it also, in today's age, a lot of businesses fail because they have to keep up with rent.
Right.
If you're paying $80, $100, $120,000 a month, slinging sandwiches, $29 sandwiches.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So I think there's, that helps. I think it's a volume game also. Delis are a volume game.
Right.
It's not a fine dining establishment where we can make $20,000 on one check.
On wine.
On wine.
Yeah, exactly.
And champagne and all that. No, we're a volume game. So we need 2,000-3,000 people to come in the door every day. And luckily that's happening.
We ask people all the time, I only have 2 more questions for you. What's the Tim Duncan of foods? So it's the thing that doesn't get a lot of press, but it operates at a very high level.
In the deli world?
I'm going to ask you just the deli world, but for me, it's always been like the ice cream sandwich. It's such a go-to for me on the ice cream truck, even though everything else gets more signage. You know what I mean? The ice cream sandwich has never fucking let me down. It's Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
What's the Tim Duncan coming into?
The Neapolitan one or just a straight vanilla?
I like the straight vanilla one because I'm kind of old school.
Me too.
But my thing is that everyone knows that you guys move more hot dogs than just about anybody else. Corned beef, pastrami, anything else that's iconic with this. But what's the Tim Duncan of the deli game that people need to try and it's not going to let them down, even though you don't put it high up on the brochure? It's not an easy question, so you have to think about it.
This is a really hard question.
It is.
Do you know how rare it is?
Because you don't have a huge menu.
An immediate answer,
yes,
by the way.
but you also.
Really good.
But it's a loaded question because you don't have a huge menu. So just about everything that you sell, you move. You know,
what's the Tim Duncan
of delis, of deli foods.
Fucking hell, man. All right, so pastrami's are what? Is our Kobe?
Yeah, pastrami's. Yeah, you're Jordan.
It's our Jordan. I guess turkey could be our.
I've never ordered turkey here.
You've never ordered turkey, and to be honest,
that's a good answer.
It's an all white meat turkey, so it's cooked in juices. It's moist. It's tender. We go through, 1,000, 2,000 pounds a week.
Yeah, no big deal. A lot of fucking turkeys.
It's a lot of turkeys. But in the grand scheme of 70,000 pounds a week, what's 1,000?
Right. No, yeah.
So, but it's Mr. Reliable. You can.
I agree with that. I love that answer.
But to be clear, our turkey is different. It's not the cold pressed, like bodega turkey.
Yeah. It's not
this is a real
forced meat.
This is like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Right.
Like it's on a sandwich, cut thin.
Right.
Do it with mustard. You could do it with Russian. You could do it with mayo. You could do it. You could add lettuce. You could add tomato. You could add
a
onion,
little Swiss.
You can do none of that. It works in any situation. It gets the job done.
Right. Yeah, turkey. That's a perfect, right? I put him on the spot there. Yeah.
Listen,
it's
I got
turkey
my
sandwich.
moments. What can I say? I'm the Tim Duncan of interviews.
That's it. You're Tim Duncan. Yeah. This is gonna be the last question. When you get found guilty of a horrendous crime, I don't know what it is yet, but I'm assuming it's something that you're running out of the basement here. You know what I mean? Like it might be
front page post, not back page post.
It might be a Ponzi. I don't know exactly what they're going to get you for, but they are going to put you to death, unfortunately. What is your death row meal when they rap on the bars and say, tomorrow you're going, Jake?
So I get 3 meals the whole day's worth of meals?
No, you just get one. What do you think? It's a fucking plaza?
Well, you said next day. No, you said next day.
But think about all this stuff that's going on in the basement. You only get one meal, for Christ's sake. I'm going to give you no price limit, though, on it. But what is it?
How many sides can I get?
Before you spin off this mortal coil, you can have as many sides as you'd like. What's the thing I'm delivering?
Cohesive meal?
No, I'd rather not be a cohesive meal. I'd rather know what a guy who's a 5th generation owner of what's widely considered one of the best delis in the fucking world, what he wants to eat before he's put to death by, we'll say, lethal injection. Making it up as I go along. You know what? Fuck you. You're getting the chair. You're getting the chair, so you know you're going to shit yourself.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know. Yeah. I like to think about it.
Right.
Go ahead.
How long do I get to eat this meal?
You have 4 hours. You have 4 hours alone. They're going to wheel in a TV, but it's going to be a tube TV that only shows reruns of MASH. So you're going to sit there and watch 4 hours of MASH. Yes, exactly.
Focus
on the food.
I get 4 hours to eat.
4 hours.
So I'm going to get a half a pastrami in there.
Okay.
In my mix.
Yes.
I'm going to get.
Where would you get the pastrami from? I'm just kidding. So you got a half a Katz pastrami.
I'm going to get a boar's head pastrami.
Yes. In the microwave.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get a chicken parm in there.
Okay.
I'm gonna get.
By the way, he's 165 pounds. This guy. But go ahead.
I'm gonna eat this all.
Yes, right? Absolutely. I don't doubt it.
I'm gonna get. I'm trying to think if I want to go mashed potatoes or if I want to go like a steakhouse gratine. I think I want to go steakhouse. I want to get some cream spinach, and I want to get some
sort of au gratin, dauphinoise.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's go to fancy potato.
It's a fancy potato because I love mashed potatoes though too.
Right.
I'm going mashed potatoes.
Okay, mashed potatoes. It's your last chance.
Yeah, with gravy on there.
Yeah.
I think I'm good in that situation.
And then we're going for the dessert.
But I have 4 hours.
You have 4 hours,
I got to get more in there, even though it's a lot of food already.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of what are my absolute favorite foods in this world.
Give me a dessert. You're not leaving without
dessert. I like a flourless chocolate cake.
Okay.
I like a dense motherfucking chocolate cake.
Something that's going to leave a mark.
I love that.
That's excellent. So listen, I'm going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Because it seems like this place is going to start to get busy, you think?
Just a couple people.
Yeah. So again, it's Monday at 10:30 in the morning. Good luck trying to get a sandwich. I'm about to go up there and get a free one right now. But this is Jake. Jake has been here for goddamn ever. Jake Dell. Yeah. Whenever you guys come here, just ask for Jake, and he'll let you skip the line. That's not going to be a problem for you at all. Do you ever get that?
We do, and they basically say, okay, call him.
Oh, yeah. Good. Yeah. By the way, we got to exchange numbers.
Yeah.
That's it. You got to try this. We're at Katz's Deli. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to talk to you. I hope to talk to you again. Talk to you guys in a little bit. All right, Ian. So that's Katz's. You got to admit, the highest compliment I've ever been paid on this little journey we've been on was given to me by Jake Dell.
If you weren't already a certified ball knower when it comes to food in New York City and all this stuff, the owner of Katz's calling you a 90-year-old Jewish man should steal it.
If you were telling me when I was growing up where I grew up in the family that I grew up in, I mean, my parents go to mass every day, and I'm, whatever, been Irish. I was an altar boy forever. Never any kind of issues. Maybe I was an ugly kid. I don't know. But either way, I've always been that way. To say that at some point, 40, 50 years in the future, you're going to get absolutely flustered in the cheeks when a guy tells you order like a 90-year-old Jewish guy, I would have told you that you're out of your fucking mind. And yet here we are. He was like, wait a sec, what's on that? I was like, oh, pastrami, tongue, chopped liver. And he was like, Jesus, you order like a 90-year-old Jewish guy. And I tell you what, it sent me into orbit. We kind of not pre-taped, but with the Wallow thing, I haven't spoke to you. How was your Thanksgiving? We're gonna get out of here in a couple of seconds, but sometimes we don't get to talk too much. Thanksgiving was good.
We had an interesting Thanksgiving for sure.
What'd you do?
We went to our cousins on Long Island.
Oh my God! Traffic must have been awful.
In Ronkonkoma.
Oh, Ronkonkoma is the end of the line for one of the trains that I get. It's the Ronkonkoma line.
Yep.
That's out there.
It's out there. And Tim Dillon had a funny line. He was like, the children of divorced parents that you at Thanksgiving, they look around and they just wonder who the hell is here.
Yeah.
They're like, are these people family or not? It's to a T. Like, and I love them. I didn't know most of the people there.
Really?
It was mostly like friends of my cousins, stuff like that. But people I've seen before, like once or twice in my life, that are like, oh, you're tall now. I'm like, I mean, yeah, I don't remember meeting you.
Right. I'm not 12 anymore. Yeah.
But the food highlight of the dinner was my cousin and his wife did dueling turkeys.
Oh, nice.
One fried a turkey, deep fried, outside in the dangerous way that you do it.
Yes.
Under wood, putting everyone in danger, of course.
Okay.
Versus just a normal turkey. I couldn't taste the difference.
So one, they didn't do it. Listen, I've spoke about this, I think, one time before on the podcast. I put my family's life in danger when I deep fried a turkey underneath a patio, flames licking the ceiling. But it's undeniable that it makes a good bird if you do it correct. We did the injectables, all that kind of stuff, and then afterwards we just had this bubbly cauldron of delicious oil, and I started to deep fry everything. So I was deep frying artichoke hearts. I was stuffing olives, running them through. I was deep frying olives, and obviously we did a bunch of dogs and everything like that. So it was a very, very good time. I've only done it once. I haven't done it since my brother's also done it because I don't cook the turkey and stuff. I'm disappointed that you didn't come back saying that a deep fried turkey would change your mind, change your life rather. You didn't enjoy it. Are you a turkey hater like everybody else? I'm not.
No, I like turkey, and both turkeys were like good, fine.
Oh, good.
But I couldn't really like when they were both on my plate. I had to like double check which one was which. I couldn't tell.
Okay.
Yeah, they more or less tasted the same to me.
All right.
However, someone there was not a family member of mine, but God bless her. She brought an apple cider donut cake. I could have just eaten 4 of those.
Oh, really?
It was most moist cake I've ever had.
Right. People have a problem with the word moist. Let's get out of our way. Put it on a t-shirt for me. Moist.
Moist.
Yeah, everything that's good is moist to me as far as that goes. We went to my brother's. My sister-in-law, Trish, absolutely killed it. She did a fantastic job hanging out with the girls. Trish, Shannon, Grace, and Katie, my brother's 3 daughters. We had a fantastic time. My parents were there. My younger brother, it wasn't his year to be with our family. He was with his in-laws, so we didn't get to see the little kids. But we'll see them all at my house. Or Liz, Neil, Liz, Mac, Maeve, and Amelia. They'll be over my house for Christmas Day, so I'm looking forward to that. I got the kids a great gift. I probably shouldn't spoil it, what we did. Me and Annie got the kids a great gift this week. So it was fantastic Thanksgiving. I will tell you that I've been a champion of turkey for a while. All these people get their bravery up and say, oh, I never liked, Thanksgiving turkey. Fucking stop. The fact that I had asked the guy from Katz what the Tim Duncan of Deli Foods is, and he told me turkey. And then, by the way, he'd given me turkey. He's like, I need you to try this. Turkey is awesome at Katz. I mean, it's renewed my faith in turkey, if I've ever lost faith in it. So it was good the whole way around. What do we have coming up? So a lot of people start to do best ofs as we're going into the holiday season. Are we doing any best ofs?
We are not doing any best ofs.
Fuck no, we're not.
We'll be putting out fresh episodes through the holiday break.
Okay, good. Which I love.
And by fresh, I mean we're recording them before the break, but they will be brand new. Nothing that you've listened to. Not a best segment from Stu mixed with the best segment from whoever. It's going to be fresh episodes.
Yeah. I will tell you, this was a great episode for me. I love spending time with you on the mic, and I love talking to people about food, but going down the Katz's and coming kind of full circle with me being there a lot in my youth and now sitting down with the guy who owns the place, I did feel like a big shot in there. I walked through there and being able to walk out of Katz's for the first time without paying was a legitimate thrill to me. So thank you again to everybody, particularly Jake Dell at Katz's. And I can't stress enough that like and subscribe, leave questions, all that stuff. We'll try to get to them every week.
Similarly to the Wallow prison tuna video, which is already out now.
Yes.
The Katz video is not out yet, but it will be out on our YouTube channel soon.
Okay.
So stay tuned for that one.
All right. So we're going to leave you on this because, especially with Twisted History, we're not trying to tell people like Ken Burns, who we had on last month. It was a good episode. You should check that out. Twisted History, Ken Burns. We're not trying to teach people everything about whatever topic we decide to tackle. We just want to make people seem a little bit more interesting when they're sitting around a bar. So I'm going to give you a little factoid that you got from You Got to Try This that might make you a little bit more interesting. If you had to guess, how many hot dogs does New York City eat a year?
I'd say
450 million hot dogs a year.
I was going to overestimate. I was going to say over 1 billion.
But Bill, 450 million hot dogs, though. You line those up end to end, and you go around the earth almost twice. And that's what New Yorkers eat a year. And we were talking about how it's the ultimate appetizer when you're getting your sandwich at Katz. I mean, I tucked one in like it was an aspirin, waiting for it. I did an egg cream and then dog with kraut, and it just made the meal better. It was such a nice little run into the whole thing. So keep that with you. Just know that just New York City eats 450 million hot dogs a year, enough to wrap around the world twice. All right, so we'll be back next week on You Got to Try This. We appreciate you guys listening, and we look forward to talking to you again. So I don't know. Stay frosty, my friends.